Here we have a review of the Star Wars Black Series Boba Fett Tython version from The Mandalorian as seen in Season 2. So on the front we have a nice view of the figure itself, which does have a soft goods robe, as well as the accessories from the Tusken Raiders. On the side we do have some nice box art with Boba Fett holding that Tusken Raider staff. On the back, we have that same box work, some description on the character, and legal at the bottom. Nothing really on that side, more legal on the bottom, and then top is just that view pane. Here we have the accessories for Boba Fett. So he does come with the Tusken Raider staff or gaffy stick. This is a different sculpt than the one that does come with the Tusken Raider figure. This bottom piece is a different sculpt. Additionally, it comes with a black string for slinging over Boba's shoulder, which also does not come with the original Tusken Raider release. We have his blaster here as well. And then his rifle. The sling for this is a soft plastic. It does slide up and down on both the butt and the shaft of the rifle, so you can position that around and sling this over his shoulder as well. And now to review the figure itself. So Boba Fett does come with a soft goods cloak. It is a single color tone for the fabric, but we do have some tattered edges along all the sleeves and the entire edges, which is a bit of a nice touch to make it feel slightly more weathered, even though it is that single color tone. The hood does come folded back out of the package, but you can flip that over and fully shroud his face, which is also a nice touch. If you wet that down, you can get that to hold in a bit of a better position to actually cover his face. And then again, if you just want to flip that back to reveal his head. So it is sewn shut here. You can't unclip or unbutton that. So to remove this, it looks like we're gonna have to pull his sleeves out, which I wanna do to get a better look at the figure. And one moment while I pull his arms out there. So looking at the figure without the robe, so you do have quite a bit of nice detailing in here with this upper tunic. Has some nice ribbing to it. You do have the collar piece as well. For Boba's face, you do have that scarred look. So there's a bit of detailing there, as well as some paint app to give that scarred look effect. We have his belt and blaster holder there. And then we have the partial robe draped down at the bottom. And then nice detailing on the pants legs as well. So overall, the detailing on this looks pretty good. The paint app is pretty clean as well. I think the likeness to Tamara Morrison is a bit off in the face. And also, I'm not a fan of the shiny paint that Hasbro has been using recently for their faces, but overall, I still think it's a pretty good representation of the figure. Now for our articulation, so our head does look down about that much, looks up, not really that far at all, pretty much just straight. You can fully, guess not quite fully, you can swivel pretty far to the sides. Our arms do come up 90 to the side. Full 360 spin there. A little more than 90 at the elbow joint. Then rotate and swivel for the wrist. For the waist articulation, It's actually pretty restricted because we do have this plastic sash piece attached to the belt, so you're not going to be able to get a lot of movement out of that. In terms of crunch, a little bit forward, not too far. A little bit back, but really not that far at all. For our legs, can come up about that much. Forward, that far. Backwards, we do get a bit further at 90 degrees there. We do have the hip swivel as well. Our knees, a little more than 90 degrees on the knee. And then our ankle is pretty, there we go. Tilts pretty far back. A nice side to side swivel there as well. So putting him back into his robe, gonna have to stretch those arms up again. Might be a little trickier getting him back in, we'll see. Not too bad. Sort of like dressing a toddler if you have kids. Similar experience to dressing Boba Fett right now. Put that back on. I do want to take a look at his accessories. We'll leave him shouting up in the air for a moment. So with his accessories, the gaffy stick does have that string, so you can put that over his shoulder. And then the rifle does have the soft plastic for the strap there. We make that look a little bit cleaner there. So we have a pretty nice looking figure with all the accessories on there. I haven't put the blaster in just because it's tucked under the robe and I don't want to mess with that. But overall, I'd say that this is a pretty solid look and really captures how he appears in The Mandalorian. And for our height, Boba Fett does stand just under 6 inches tall. For our height comparisons, here he is next to Bib Fortuna and Fennec Shand. And here he is next to Dengar and Bossk. And here he is next to the Jedha Patrol Stormtrooper and the Migs Mayfield Morak version. Overall, the Boba Fett Tython figure is a great release. You do get a lot of bang for your buck in a standard release figure in terms of the accessories you get as well as the soft goods robe. Not to mention, this is pretty much all new sculpt for the figure and it looks fantastic. The articulation is decent, the paint app is great, and again, the value for what you get is really good. I also will have to say that having this figure makes me want to see more of this version of Boba Fett in either The Mandalorian or Book of Boba Fett because it is a fantastic look. The only real knock I would say is that with the gaffy stick using the string, which is a nice touch, it doesn't really sit well on his shoulder. It wants to slide down. Like if I try and position that, what actually does sit up a bit better now. But yeah, you can see it's very finicky in terms of getting it into that right position. So the benefit of having the soft plastic strap like they use for the rifle is it sits a bit better versus this. A lot more finicky. You can see you can get it there, but it's a little bit of work. So it's a minor gripe on this figure, but overall, I think this is a great release and I definitely recommend picking it up.